Hey, what's up? I don't know if you heard me at the end there, but we are live. It is 49er bye week. Hey, Jason, we were talking about this before. Danilo Gallinari to the Atlanta Hawks. So you just lost out on that. You literally just said that too.
Come on.
Here we go. So we are live here, episode week. God, I should really look up what week we're in before we start this. Week 11. It is week 11, episode 2 of the week. It is 49er bye week. Andrew Pasquini. Follow me on Twitter at Pasquini Andrew. Jason Aponte to my right. Follow him on Twitter at Jason Aponte 2103. Hey, what's up, Freddie? That's my friend Freddie.
Nice. There we go.
So yeah, here we go. I'm going to be completely honest with everybody here. We don't have much of a plan today. It is bye week. It is bye week. We already touched on the 49ers Saints. It's a little late. This is usually when we do our preview shows. Unfortunately, there's no game to preview. As I said, the 49ers are on a bye week this week. So a lot of this show, man, whatever you guys want to talk about, we're here for. We are here for. We have a few things we want to touch on. But outside of that, like whatever 49er topic you guys have, we're really making this your show today.
For sure. Yeah, and we can do that. And then before, we let everybody load into the show and everything as well and start with the questions. I think, we could put like a bow, I guess, on the Saints game, right? Like, let's really I think when Guy was here, we really talked about, what was the outlook of the team? Not necessarily what happened in the game as much, and we've had a lot of time to digest this. So I guess, we can kind of just really put this game to rest, like for sure. So do you want to start? What were your impressions? Well, you know what? Let's start with something positive. Start with something positive for sure.
Okay, never mind that. I was going to say something. Something positive about that game. The defense still looks really good. The 49ers defense is still really good. I know they gave up 27 points. A lot of it was, and I mentioned it at the end of the show on Wednesday, kind of the field position. And if I could find the tweet, I'll say it again, because I think it is important within the context of the game how well the Niners defense played. As I'm trying to find a tweet, I tweet too much. If I'm trying to find a tweet from Monday and I'm scrolling this long, the Saints starting field position on Sunday on their scoring drives, they started at the 49ers 25, the 49ers 21, their own 43, their own 36, and the 49ers 22. The Saints starting field position on the non-scoring drives, New Orleans 22, New Orleans 20, New Orleans 22, New Orleans 33, New Orleans 31, New Orleans 25. So the difference in this game was the Saints in the short field were really good. The Saints, I did it again.
You did again.
I called them the Saints again. I don't know what's happening. The Saints, when they had a long field, they really struggled. And the Niners defense played very well. And if the Niners were able, something possible, I mean,
that's hard to beat that. It's hard to beat that.
That's true. I'm half not convinced that they're going to lose this week somehow. I don't know how. But yeah, really the field position killed the 49ers, and that was the big difference of this game. Like just plain and simple, the two muff punts. And I forget how the Saints got. Was it an interception? No, I forget how the Saints got. Oh, it was a kick return. Harris had that long kick return. Yeah, I don't know why I'm calling them the Saints. I really don't know where that comes from. But yeah, the Saints having the short field really killed the 49ers all game.
Yeah, but their defense did play well, so that's just something positive.
The defense played well. That was the whole point of that.
Anthony, what's going on? Ryan, what's going on? Thank you guys for joining. Yeah, so something positive from this game. Jordan Reed is still that guy.
That catch.
Yeah, season high in yards, 63 doesn't sound like a lot, but considering where Jordan Reed came from and how he played in this game on the limited amount of snaps, man, does he still have it? It's crazy, right? I'm going to say something, and it's not because it's Friday and we're trying to drum stuff up. The best route runner at the tight end position on this team is Jordan Reed still.
Yeah.
Still.
Yeah,
Jordan. No slight at the God Kittle, but
what are you talking about? You're complimenting one player, therefore you have to be running down the other. I thought that's how that worked.
Oh, well, it does on 49ers Twitter like that.
Like if you say one player's better than another, you're instantly meaning the other player's bad, right? Isn't that how that works?
Just at that part of his game. That's it. At that part of his game, he's better than George Kittle.
Sure. I think, and this could be a positive, but it plays as a negative, maybe. The game got to a point where I was pretty comfortable sitting here saying the Saints are going to win this game. But then the Niners kind of started driving. And I was like, okay, if they score a touchdown this drive, they get an onside kick. Maybe we can do this. So I went from like this game's over to, oh, okay, maybe. I slowly talked myself getting interested, and then Mullins threw the interception. So I had that like 3 minutes in the fourth quarter where I was just like, maybe this could happen. Maybe this could happen. And then it didn't. So positive that they made it kind of close at the end of the game.
For sure. And you know what? It's funny that you say that because I had the same thought process, but it was after the first drive. Because I went into this game like, yeah, there's no way we're going to do this. I just want to see them be competitive. And then they run this first drive, which milked the clock, looked great. And I was just like, oh, I was like, there it is. Like, and then I was like, wait a minute. I was like, is this it? Like, and then, and then right after they get the fumble off of the muff punt on their second drive, right? Because they were punting first and then they got a reprieve. I was like, well, if they score a touchdown here, then we really feel good. But then, of course, the field goal. And then, like it's true because I went from almost like, yeah, it's over to, oh, wow, look at I already started like after the first drive. I was already like, oh, my goodness, into the bye week. We're going to get everybody back. We're going right back.
I was kind of there, too. My thought was if they can somehow do that drive over the entirety of the game, this could happen. Right. I didn't go as far as like they're in this game. They can win this. I was just like, if they can do like that 2 or 3 more times where it's just long drive, like not even and just getting points, like field goals I know aren't great, but like just long drives that take 7 minutes off the clock and then you finish with a field goal. Like if you can do that 2 or 3 more times, maybe this is a thing. And then unfortunately they only did it one more time, which was the field goal to put them up 10-0. And then kind of after that, the game just kind of got lost.
Well, here's something that was really positive, and I tried to stay away from it. But Kevin, asks, is Ayuk starting to look matchup proof? Yes. Yeah. Like the first catch that he had, on second down, after Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, who played out of his mind in this game, blows up Jet McKinnon in the backfield. It was on Marcus Lattimore. It's not. That's not is it Marcus or Marshawn? Which one? What am I doing here? It's Marcus, right?
I feel like my brain's not working either. And
mine isn't either.
Marshawn Lattimore. There we go.
Marshawn Lattimore. Right. Sorry. Yeah, Marshawn Lattimore. Who that's a top 5 cover guy in this league.
In case you guys are wondering how much we put into each week and prepping these shows, we're past the Saints game already, so now we're already like, what's Breeze's first name? I forget his name too. Like
Breeze.
We're already past the Saints. Like,
do you want to yell? Do you want to?
No, that's later in the show. That's later.
No, do you want to yell about that call?
Oh, I forgot about that call. That's a horrible call.
That is.
To me, this league is so much just. If you're a super, like it's turning into the NBA in that sense. If you're a superstar, you're going to get those calls. Nick Foles almost died on Monday and could not get a roughing the passer call.
Yeah.
And Drew Brees gets, I forget, it was Street. Street gets shoved into Brees and does his best to get his body weight off of Brees to avoid that call. And the refs are still like, well, it's Drew Brees and he's kind of slow to get up. There just needs to be consistency. There needs to be consistency in this league. And it was and I want to say this, it was a very bad ref game, but the refs did not cost the 49ers. Both of those can be true. The Niners lost this game because the Niners aren't as good as the New Orleans Saints. The refs were their own thing. Like there was a holding call. There was some call at some point, and maybe it was a holding or something against the Niners where they blew the whistle in the middle of the play. I forget which play it was, but you can go back and watch it. It was a run to the left. I remember that. And it was maybe it was I'm totally drawing a blank on the tight end's name, not Reed.
Dwelly.
I think it was Dwelly was called for a hold. For some reason I want to say Daniel Held.
Oh yeah, because he missed a block, right? On the run play.
And something happened, but in the flag came out. And the whistle blew at the same time. So I thought maybe it was like a false start that was just called super late. And then they called the whole. Yeah, it was just a really bad referee game. Right. But the refs did not cost the 49ers in this game at any point. Other than obviously the roughing the passer call. But I think the Niners still held the Saints to a field goal on that
Still
drive.
held to a field goal right there.
So it didn't kill them necessarily because the Saints were, because I think it was a third down play as well. So the Saints were going to kick a field goal anyways.
Right.
But it wasn't a good call. And the NFL really needs more consistency.
Walter agrees with you. Walter agrees with you. You know, that was a stupid whistle.
Yes.
Yeah.
So kind of go back to what I said at the start of the show. Now that more people are filling in, we don't have much of a plan for this show. It is bye week. We have a few topics that we want to touch on, but we're gonna let you guys carry this conversation. What you guys think we should talk about, we will do our best to touch on. We really want to open this up to you guys because you guys really make this show go, right? And we want to throw it out to you guys. We do a lot, planning for shows, but we wanted to give you guys a chance to see what you like. I feel like what makes us different is we really focus on what 49ers Twitter talks about and the topics that they talk about and all that. So we want you guys to be part of the conversation today. We want you guys to guide this show for us. We have a few things. Replacements for Robert Saleh. We go.
Let's go.
So
go ahead.
I had my scary thought the other night when I was texting. I don't know why I texted you at 11 o'clock. And I do know why, but we don't need to talk about why right now. So I texted Jason. Was it Wednesday night at 11? We were kind of talking about Saleh because this is what Jason and I do. We talk at 11 o'clock about the 49ers, 2 o'clock his time. And the worst case scenario for me, and it's not going to happen because the defense is so different because this guy does run. Boy, it'd be real fun for this podcast if Matt Patricia replaces Robert Saleh on the defensive side, huh? It'd be real good for this podcast, don't you think? I think the name that for realistically though, I think Dan Quinn's probably the name just because of the tie with Atlanta with Shanahan,
right?
Being the OC
and the cover three because they could essentially run what they want to run now with him and not really lose a step at least there. But yeah, what's up, John? You're in here too. Rye, what's up, bro? Oh, here we go. Rye says McLovin and Patricia are great sports with the ribbing and jokes.
Man, Rye, I don't even know who Rye is because he doesn't put his face on his Twitter or anything like that. And he roasts us like we've known him for 10 years.
Right. No,
I mean, that's very confident in himself. I love it. I appreciate it.
That's how 49ers Twitter is, honestly. That's what makes it good about it. It's like, I remember like somebody sent me something that says Instagram is for the place for people that you don't really like. Twitter is where all the awesome people are you wish you really knew, like in real life.
Archer brings up a good point. I haven't thought of that. To me though, it's a little tough because the Niners do like their 4-3 right now. I don't know if they're going to go to a DC that runs a 3-4, but I mean it's possible. Do you want to hear my really hot take with the Broncos?
Go for it.
So this is a good way to bring it up actually. The Broncos probably are going to fire Vic Fangio. I don't think he's a head coach. I think he's a coordinator in the NFL, which is fine. That's not a knock on Vic Fangio. Are you ready for my hot take?
Go for it.
The Denver Broncos hired Jim Harbaugh,
and
that's enough to bring Andrew Luck out of retirement.
Wow. I think it's Detroit that's going to be in the running for Harbaugh, right? Because he's a Michigan guy.
He is, but Elway Stanford guy as well. And honestly too, like if you're looking as a Jim Harbaugh type head coach, what situation, like for me, if I had the choice between Detroit and Denver, I'd probably go Denver.
Okay.
I think Denver, and maybe it's just because the Lions as a whole are just a dumpster fire of a franchise too. But I think Denver would be a way more intriguing head coaching option for me. I don't know what Jim Harbaugh. Yeah, I heard it somewhere, and I'm like, that's not too crazy. And it continues the trend of Indianapolis quarterbacks going to Denver. I don't know. I feel like that's an option if Jim Harbaugh, because I don't think Jim Harbaugh is going to be the head coach of Michigan after this season.
Right. Well, this is a good point too, right? They may be out here with the pitchforks and everything outside of his house, because of what he's done at Michigan, right? So why would they let him just take the Lions over like that?
Yeah, so I think that I think Harbaugh going to the Broncos there's a chance for that. Whether the Andrew Luck thing is a thing, whether Andrew Luck actually wants to play football anymore, I don't know. But I think there's a possibility there. Speaking of head coaches, there is a head coach that I want to put on the cool seat I don't know if you guys saw my tweet. Yeah, if we're talking hot seat, there's got to be a cool seat. Let's put Kyle Shanahan on the cool seat. Let's cool this down a bit. Kyle Shanahan should not be on the hot seat. Can we please stop saying this? Because there's one of two things you're doing if you're saying Kyle Shanahan is on the hot seat. You're either not watching the team or you are saying it just to say it to get the clout. That's all it is. Kyle Shanahan just signed a, I believe it was 6-year extension, or was it a 3-year extension? One of the two. I'm not great with numbers. He just signed an extension. They're not going to get rid of him, especially after a season where all of his offensive weapons have been hurt. No head coach in the NFL is going to take this Niner team as it is and be successful. The other question I have too, and it's a lot of questions. Another question I have with Garoppolo, if you get rid of Garoppolo, who's the better option? If the Niners get rid of Kyle Shanahan, who's the better option? You're not firing a head coach to bring in somebody worse.
You know what's the thing? Here's the question that the 49er fans should ask themselves, the ones who are bashing Kyle, because you're not going to find that over here. And that's not me giving anybody a pass. It's me completely understanding the circumstances of this season. If Kyle Shanahan was available tomorrow,
31 NFL teams.
30. Belichick's probably the exception.
That's true.
30 teams run down the aisle as if it's a Royal Rumble to get him as their head coach. That's what you should be thinking about, 49er fans who want to get Kyle Shanahan out.
Yeah, and Ryo, you're saying no way Shanahan's on the hot seat. I don't think Shanahan's on the hot seat, but a lot of 49er Twitter wants him on the hot seat. Ryan, why Dan Quinn? Simply because there's the tie with Atlanta. He runs the cover 3 defense, which is the defense the 49ers run currently. I don't know if he runs the wide 9, which is what the Niners run as well. That I don't know. They can
add that in. They can bake that in because that's all about rushing. That's Kasurik's thing. So all that secondary stuff, that's all with Quinn's stuff.
And Ryo, I know you're agreeing with me. I'm telling you that I don't think Shanahan's on the hot seat, but Quinn is a sensible pick for the DC position. Just because of the tie with Shanahan. Shanahan likes to bring in his people, as you've seen with McKinnon and Coleman. Like he likes having his people around him.
So this is a good question too, real quick. I'm sorry, Melissa has a question too. So what do you think it takes for Richie to get special and regular snaps away from Trent because he's 100% done? I honestly would have had a really good answer until he muffed that punt. Now if you're not doing the kick returning well, like Kyle Shanahan's not going to put more on your plate. He's going to take it off. So Richie's he's got a foot in the doghouse. I think the reason that he's not fully in is because Kyle can't put him all the way in there. He still needs to use him.
I think my small brain football answer is Trent Taylor has no place in the offense anymore. He doesn't want to risk getting Kevin asked Ayuk punt kick return. All that's doing is giving them extra plays to get a chance to get hurt. Right. So I don't think Shanahan wants to use guys that he's going to use on the offensive side of the ball to do returns as well. So right. I think that's why James isn't getting as many chances. I think he gave him a chance because maybe he just realizes Trent Taylor's not there or not doing it well enough. So James is probably the next man up. I wouldn't be surprised if the Niners go out and draft a kick return specialist, like just somebody on the team to return kicks, because that has been an issue. I mean, who's the last great kick returner the 49ers have had? Ted Ginn. That's probably. I feel like there's one I'm missing. But Allen Rosem was there for a minute.
Kyle Williams.
Listen, Kyle Williams gets a lot of flack for those punts, but he was a fine player.
I'm sorry, that was a control answer.
Also, I saw a question up at the top somewhere. Yep. Actually, I wanted to touch.
We got a few good questions in here, so let's pull one of these up.
It was regarding Anthony Karras. If we can restructure Jimmy G contract to be more team friendly, do we keep him and get an O-line player in the first round? Ooh, that's actually a good question. I just assumed it was a Jimmy G restructure. So if we're playing in the fantasy world, that Jimmy Garoppolo restructures his contract, which I think we should squash that now. I don't think Jimmy Garoppolo is going to restructure a contract.
Why would you?
But let's just play the game, because I think this is a very interesting question. It's a very interesting question. I would say if you get Jimmy Garoppolo cheaper, like how much cheaper are we talking? That's the first step of this.
27 mil next year.
27 mil. So let's say, I don't know. Let's throw out a really random number that I know isn't going to be a thing because no NFL player is taking a cut this big. Let's just say let's get that number down to 15. That is not happening. Happening. Not happening. The only place 15 million is happening is in this specific hypothetical. I think you go quarterback still. I think you're able. 15 is fine for a grooming money, especially on a 1-year deal. I think you still go quarterback.
Yeah.
Now, if let's say they restructure that number closer to 21, 22, which is more realistic, which I still don't think is going to happen, then you're signaling that Garoppolo is still a guy, and maybe you don't go quarterback. But in this hypothetical world where the 49ers restructure Jimmy G contract, they'll go quarterback still.
Yeah, and I you know what? I was gonna let you talk me through it, and I think you convinced me, honestly, because then that essentially really becomes the Alex Smith, Patrick Mahomes thing. So yeah, I really would agree with you 100% there. I don't really have anything more to add to that.
And as I said, that's not happening. But if it does, I still think they go quarterback.
Let's see what we got. Some other good ones in here. Would you guys give Ayuk looks at punt and kick return with the problems we've had lately? So there's two ways to look at this, Kevin. Yes, he's probably the best returner the 49ers have, right? The most explosive, because you've seen him do it in college, right? But do you want to risk, your best pure receiver, I would say, on the team? Route runner, right? Receiver. We can make the argument that Debo's the better player because he does more with the ball in his hands. That's fine. I'm not going to kill anybody who wants to pick Debo over Ayuk. I'm just saying that in this limited sample size of 7 games that I've seen from him, 8 games, his route running is incredible, man. And he has all the makings of an alpha. I would at this point, right? Think about what these plays do for your offense, right? Like, not only do they set you up with field position, they give you these momentum like bursts, right? Like to get you going. Like before that, we have seen a huge decline in whoever's been back there for punting. Everybody either fair catches it or like Trent Taylor didn't get his guy away in time, and the ball bounces off Ken Webster. So something might have to shake up, and Brandon Ayuk might be the person to do it for this team.
Yeah, I kind of go back to my point of I don't know if Shanahan wants to give a player so important in the offense more touches like that in situations where they could get hurt. But I watching Ayuk, I because personally, like hand up, I didn't expect Ayuk to be this good this quick.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of expected him to be kind of a gadget player for the 49ers on the offense, in the sense of he can do a lot of things on the offensive side of the ball. Like I picture him as a slot receiver roughly, right?
Mm-hmm.
But watching his college tape on punt and kick returns, he is an explosive player. And if that was still the case, or if he didn't have as important of a role on the offense, I would see him being utilized more there. But he's just too important. He's too important on the offensive side of the ball.
This is it pretty much. And this is really, like, honestly, the right way to look at it. It's true. Although Beckham did it for a little bit in his first year, when he first got there, but they AB too, but they took them away from that because they realized how important it is to the offense. So yeah, I mean, that's a really good point on both sides, actually. Let's see. Is there really, why would Garoppolo take less money? That's for sure. I mean, why would anybody forget Garoppolo? Why would any NFL player?
And I know I'm going to get in trouble for saying this name.
No,
but Colin Kaepernick, that's why he didn't go to the Broncos. People say the Broncos offered him a contract that he turned down because it was significantly less money than the 49ers were giving him.
Right.
He didn't say no to the same contract. If it was the same contract, he would have pushed that trade through. He would be on the Broncos, and he might still be there. Who knows? But yeah, no player. Like, I am all for players. I hate it when just personally, I'm not mad at anybody for asking this. I hate it when people say, "Hey, why don't they restructure their contract, man?" Like, for me, it's like, "Hey, Jason, we're like, man, I'm gonna give you a job on Wall Street. I'm gonna start you at $1 million a year, but next year I want you to cut it down to 75K. You're not doing that. So
no.
So that's kind of my thing is yeah, like the Broncos were often, I think, significantly less than what the 49ers were.
There's a good question from Melissa. So out of all of the free agents in the secondary, is anybody on the keep besides Shark, K'Wan Williams? So
is that his nickname?
I think so. Yeah.
I was not aware of that. Thank you. I learned something today, Melissa. Thank you.
K'Wan, I find a little bit harder for them to bring back, actually, more than anything. And Jason Verrett might be playing himself out of town if he continues to play well, right? Again, look, you hope that Jason Verrett says, "I want to come back," right? You hope. But if Jason Verrett gets a deal thrown at him, which is going to pay him lucrative money, how could you ever fault the guy for taking money after all he's been through at this point? So yes, we hope that Jason Verrett's coming back. I think Sherm's not coming back. I think we've seen Jaquiski Tartt for the last time this year, and it's going to be hard. Jamar Taylor's been fine. He's been fine. Like, I'm not saying that he's been playing out of. He's been fine. He's been fine. So, I mean, if they can, and I think that what we've been pounding the table about for the Saints game, we got to see Moore and Ward, because I feel like that's what we're going to be seeing next year. They're going to be running with those two in the secondary. Poor Jimmy Ward, man, can't even catch the interception thrown right to him. Goodness gracious, man.
I'm going to go super hot, spicy here, and I'm going to say I think all three of the starting cornerbacks are going to be back. Mosley, Verrett, and K1.
Okay.
I don't think Sherman's going to be back unless he works a team-friendly deal as well. I think all three could be back, and I could see them drafting another one, maybe not in the first or second round, but taking a chance on a later round guy. That's I think what the Niners have at cornerback right now is really good for what it could have been. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think that this group they have right now are probably going to be the three next year.
Okay, here's another question from Kevin. Might as well look. We got to fill time, right?
Should I say what I said to you on Wednesday?
Yes.
So the 49ers have a quarterback who lost the Super Bowl, and then shortly after lost his starting job. Do I think he has a future in the league? Now, I don't know if you guys realize this, but there was another quarterback who played for the 49ers who lost the Super Bowl, who lost the starting job shortly after that, who still isn't in the league. Garoppolo, yes, he has a future in this league somewhere. Some team will give him an option.
The correlation between him and Cap is kind of funny, right?
It's pretty much the same thing.
So look, so let's even take it to play skills, right? One read quarterback, can't get off the read.
Very mobile,
right.
Mobile.
Well, now he's mobile, so that's what he has over Jimmy, right? So it's so weird. Like when you go back and you look at it, and it's like, man, how similar, at least in place, at least in what they lack, are Cap and Jimmy at this point, right?
Yeah. I think some team who needs a quarterback will take a shot on Jimmy Garoppolo.
For sure. If he's not going back to New England, he's going back to Chicago. Like, that's it. Like, it's one of those two teams. Chicago needs a quarterback. They're about to change regime, and you know that Belichick wants to get him back. So, it's one of those two.
Richard Sherman's not going to play safety.
I mean,
unless he realizes that he cannot cover anymore, and I don't think Sherman will ever get to that point in his head. I don't think Richard Sherman's going to ever shift to safety.
Right. No, I don't. I mean, I would like that. That'd be okay. Because then he could still be that voice in the secondary, like to help guys. But and Melissa Witherspoon's gone. Yeah. Don't be surprised if he lands in Cleveland with Joe Woods, because he still thinks that he can get something out of him. But yeah, I think the Spoon is gone. And then Sherm would have to make a business decision, right? Because he made a lot of money betting on himself, on this contract. So is he going to do that again, or will he play for purely, incentives, right? Like, you can't fault a guy at his age coming off of the injury for trying to get one more payday.
Not at all. Yeah.
So do you believe that is due to a lower cap, incentive-based contracts will be more popular? You hope so. You hope that guys want to do that. But how many guys are just going to sit back and say, I'm not playing for that. I need guaranteed money, and then once injuries and attrition happen, they'll be called in, like we've kind of seen it that way. I hope that these incentivized deals, what I think we'll see a lot of backloaded deals this year. When we do them. So it'll be like 2-3 years. They'll kick the can down on what they have to pay, hoping that things get better. So I think that's what'll happen more than anything.
And we're getting to an NFL where players are starting to realize, like, these contracts are these non-guaranteed contracts are insane. And Kirk Cousins, whether we realize it or not now, he really changed the game. I think players are going to look for more guaranteed money. Hey, we're going to talk about that. Why do you think I'm wearing a Florida State hat? But so I think we'll see more backloaded contracts. I don't think players, unless it's a player like Richard Sherman, who needs to kind of do a prove it deal, signing incentive-based contracts. But I think we're going to see a lot of front-loaded deals this year.
Yeah.
Or excuse me, backloaded.
Backloaded. Yeah. Backloaded for sure. I mean, I think that's the only way that's how the the Chiefs are signing everybody. It's not kicking in now. It's kicking in down the line.
They're going to be in trouble in a few years, but they really opened their window. Also, another free agency name that I wouldn't be surprised we see, Takk McKinley. I don't think anybody. No. Like, bear with me here. Like, hear me out. I want to talk this out.
Okay.
So, news, we haven't touched on it yet. Takk McKinley failed his physical at the 49ers. He is no longer on the 49ers.
No, but he failed because they allowed Jason Verrett to continue to walk back into the building when he was failing physical. So he had to really fail.
There must be something with the groin. Like, there must be something there. So I don't think a team is going to take a chance on that. I don't think teams are probably going to continue to claim him, but I don't think any team, like 2 teams fail the physical now. That's not good. So now you give him time to heal up. I wouldn't be surprised if the Niners reach back out to him, because now like we talked about it on Wednesday, that this is a low risk, high reward deal where if he's not good, the Niners let him walk, they get a pick. Or if he's good, you have another edge rusher. Now we get to a point where now we're kind of in between, where now the Niners can call him in the offseason and say, listen, we're still interested in you. You failed your physical. Let's do you ready for this? Incentive-based deal. Come in and essentially do the same thing over. So I could see that being a thing. I don't think Takk McKinley is going to see the field again this year. I could be wrong, because I know a couple other teams, I think it was the Raiders and the Browns, made claims on him. Yep. So maybe they make a claim, but then also maybe he fails the physical. I wouldn't be surprised if the Niners reach out to Takk McKinley at some point again, maybe before the end of this year, most likely in the offseason. I think they'll reach out to him.
I think what's funny about it is that what everybody's forgetting is that Atlanta's about to take the L here in the most extraordinary way. Let me explain. They had him get picked up. He fails a physical. He didn't get picked up. He gets picked up, fails a physical, didn't get picked up. If he goes unclaimed the rest of the year, he still counts towards Atlanta's dead cap hit. Mm-hmm. So they were like trying to get his contract off the books and try to get it. And now that may not happen because of this unforeseen amount of circumstances. Like, he really had to be hurt. Like, he must have, the way the 49ers have 42 people, I believe. Shout out to Akash or something like that for his tweet. 42 people on the roster or something like that.
Yes.
This man must have walked in with his thigh meat hanging off the bone. Mm-hmm. Like, just like he had, like, all you could see is just like an exposed leg at this point for the 49ers to say, we can't take a chance on you right now.
I feel like my tweet response to Akash didn't get enough respect. Mm-hmm. I said, if you add 7 more players, you can call them the 49ers. Thank you. I know. I'm hilarious. Muniz brings up a good point.
Don't get it later.
Muniz brings up a good point, but Vaughn is going to become a cap casualty. That there's a possibility. That could be a possibility. I don't Vaughn, because like in my head, Von Miller's more of a 3-4 edge rusher. I don't know how he is with his hand in the ground, because he'd have to be hand on the ground, because the Niners aren't going to switch up their defensive scheme.
Yeah,
they could. I don't think they will. I don't know if Von Miller's the right fit for this team, and especially at his age, it'd have to be a really cheap deal. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if Von Miller's going to be looking for that, because Von Miller can still go.
Yeah.
I you know what I was all in for was before the Chargers re-signed him. I thought there was a real possibility of the Niners getting rid of Dee Ford after the season and going after Joey Bosa, but the Chargers extended him. I don't know.
That's a good question.
Also, what's his? You said his name earlier. I want to refer to him by his name. I don't know. Vernus.
Oh, that's John.
John. I forgot Chip Kelly existed. Thank you for reminding me that he existed. I try and forget Chip Kelly. I try and forget that I was ever a thing. So I don't know. That's a very good question.
That's a very good question.
Chip Kelly actually might be. I don't think Tom Sula is, because I'm assuming that was a very team-friendly deal. Chip Kelly, 49ers contract. Let's see.
Yeah, you could look that up.
I'm looking it up.
Kevin asked, Kendrick Bourne is probably not on this team next year. I don't think he is either, Kevin. One of two reasons. One, it's either a numbers game with the 49ers and they feel like they can move on, because I have a feeling the 49ers are going to address wide receiver one more time in this draft coming up, right? But also, if Kendrick Bourne plays really well, he could play himself into a contract somewhere else. He's a very solid possession receiver. on third down in the red zone. And what I wanted to point out about the third down in the red zone stuff with Kendrick Bourne is like it wasn't exactly like guys weren't available and he was the only one to throw the ball to. No, when he was scoring touchdowns and converting third downs, it was when the offense was mostly healthy. So he adds something to this offense clearly, right, when everybody's there. So an undrafted free agent, again, if you get money thrown at you, I'm always on the player side of taking money. I love this team, but if a guy needs to get paid, he should take it because this is a cutthroat business and they need to act accordingly.
Yeah, I agree on that very much. I looked up I caught the tail end of that. I was reading the Chip Kelly.
No, you're good.
Chip Kelly signed a 4-year deal in 2016 with the 49ers. Apparently the UCLA deal actually helped them a lot. But it looked like it's off the books now.
Okay.
There you go.
All right. See, there you go. Informative. Let's see. Best Chip Kelly moment as a Niner was his back and forth with Lowell Cohen about Cap. Yeah, I got alerted to that, a lot later on. Like I just recently saw that. That was a little snippy there. They were going back and forth.
I would probably, like, if I had to power rank Chip Kelly moments with the 49ers, the first would be the day they fired him. And that's the list.
No. You know what's messed up about it? Do you remember his father died wearing a 49er jersey and they buried him in it? And like the day that like he had to like go to the funeral, they fired him or something like that, right?
I don't know if that's true.
It is true.
I'm beyond. I don't know if that's true. All right. Well, if it's true, I didn't know that was a thing. All I know is Chip Kelly he's not an NFL coach. Let's be honest.
Right. Out of the players we recently tried out, who do you think we'd sign? Why didn't you get signed, Muniz? I thought you were going to be pass rush. I got signed. I'm on the practice squad. I'm on the super secret practice squad.
I got a real question. Who did they try out?
I went. It was. Let's see.
No, is this a real question though?
No, I mean I don't really know who they could have tried out. Like if you guys want to like give some of the names, like because Cyprian's on the IR. Like how does a guy who was not even playing at all ever get in a game and then all of a sudden boom you're on IR as well too? Like let's see.
I want to answer you folks. Yes, thank you.
So does Kyle need to give the offensive coordinator and focus on being a head coach?
I think he meant get an offensive coordinator.
Okay. Because
the 49ers offensive coordinator currently is Kyle Shanahan. No. Kyle Shanahan, listen. Kyle Shanahan is the offensive coordinator. He's the head coach, and that's going to stay how it is. The reason you see the decline in offense, listen, Kyle Shanahan has had one season of a healthy team. And in that, or a healthy offense specifically, because in 2017, he started the year with Brian Hoyer. That doesn't count. Let's just throw that year out because that wasn't his quarterback. 2018, he gets Jimmy Garoppolo coming off a 6-0 or a 5-0 finish of the season, tears his ACL, throw that year out. He gets one healthy year. And the Niners offense is a top 5 offense, and they are a Super Bowl team. This year, throw this year out. They're all hurt. Kyle Shanahan's the play caller. Kyle Shanahan should stay the play caller. He's a very good play caller. That I think that's plain and simple what it is.
I see, like I would agree with this because I've seen it floated around, right? Like about this, I would be on board with getting him an offensive coordinator if he was struggling with game management, if he was missing things like that. He's not missing any of that, really. Like that's not. So he seems to be in charge of everything while being the play caller. So I don't really see like that being too much of a distraction if that's what people are trying to say, because it's not like we just watched Cliff Kingsbury last night completely mismanage the end of that game. Like, if you want to talk about time management problems and guys who need an offensive coordinator, it might be that guy, because you had to get a first down, but you continue to just take shots into the end zone. You call the timeout right when they call the play. Like, Kingsbury mucked that all up. That, if Kyle Shanahan was doing that, I would probably say, yeah, you need to start giving somebody the play calling, because you need to really watch these game management issues, right? So.
And Archnoy, second time you brought up this point, I didn't miss it the first time. Look at Mike Tomlin, same team as last year, only changes Big Ben. They went from 8-8 to 9-0. That like that's what you should focus on, how important personnel is. These coaches are good, but man, they still need the talent. I mean, just look at Bill Belichick in New England. He loses Tom Brady. He loses.
No, he's a bad coach now. He's a bad coach now.
Yeah, like is Bill Belichick a bad coach now? Like legitimately, like that's a real question I'm asking. No, he's not. He is not. So like I get people saying, you know, coaches make teams good to an extent, but a lot of it has to. And yeah, Belichick lost his defense as well.
They all opted out,
and so
they all opted out.
I get thinking head coaches can change teams, and I fully believe that in a case of when head coaches lose the locker room, and the head coach's voices only work for so long. That's why I guess the best example is Theo Epstein, baseball. Theo Epstein left the Chicago Cubs despite winning a World Series because he thinks, listen, it's only going to work for 10 years. And then you got to change a voice to continue building. Or Belichick, I almost called him Belichick. Shanahan is still the head coach of this team. He's going to be the head coach of this team. Just because this is an off year, all of it has to do with the injuries. It has nothing to do with Shanahan's ability as a head coach.
So to this point about what McVay does, like, you know, when they made the Super Bowl, McVay literally never even watched the defense play. Like, you guys know this. He would go and sit right back down and get right back on the offense, right? So he has a guy who pulls him back on the sidelines too when he gets a little bit too far out and everything as well too. But yeah, he's done a better job of distributing the things that he needs to away from him so he can stick to what he's there to do, which is play call, right? Like, you can't have a guy be a play caller, right, and be known as a play caller and say, we don't want you calling plays anymore. Like, you know, like it would be like if somebody was a defensive coach and they're like, yeah, you know what? We don't need you to touch the defense anymore. It's like, well, then why are you here? Here's a good question. Since it's our division, is Jalen Ramsey the best in the game right now? He's certainly playing like it. Certainly throwing his hat in the ring right now, honestly. Yeah. You know, last year was Stephon Gilmore, but man, did he do a job on DK Metcalf? Completely frustrated him. Yeah, there you go. I did that on purpose.
Last good Florida State player.
Yeah, there you go. But no, he's playing very well right now, honestly, man. It's like him, you know, there's the shutdown corners, it's a dying breed at this point, right? You know, like, you know, you saw Patrick Peterson struggle a little bit last night against DK Metcalf, and you know, he kind of wiped him out. Jalen Ramsey's good, man.
Yeah, you know who didn't struggle against DK Metcalf? Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah, he didn't. Bradbury, you know, James Bradbury over there. You know, what's up, Keenan? Thank you for joining, man. James Bradbury over with the Giants. He was the Panthers shadow cover last year. You know, there's, you know, Marshawn Lattimore was one of those guys until Brandon Ayuk baked him. Oh, I'm sorry. No, I didn't just say that. Yeah, my bad. Yes, Mike Vrabel is a good coach, but the Taylor Lewan injury is killing them as well, too. Yeah. You know, so injuries will hurt any coach, I think, is the point.
Yeah, and every team's dealing with it this year. Like, this is an abnormal year. A lot of it, too, with the COVID. And Niners added 3 more players today to COVID. Ayuk's back on it. Trent Williams back on it. I think it's maybe that's why Daniel Helm was in. I don't even think Daniel Helm's on the 49ers anymore.
He is.
Who was he? Maybe it was Daniel Helm. Then maybe that's why my brain had him on.
It is Daniel Helm.
Is that who it was? Okay, so those are the 3 players.
The only reason I know is because East Bay Chris has this infatuation with him, and anytime there's something there, he retweets it. So memes were the reason that I remembered that it was Daniel Helm, not because
maybe that's why Daniel Helm was on my mind earlier today. There you go. So yeah, like every team's dealing with the injuries right now. It's just the Niners have a Super Bowl team on their IR.
Yeah,
like that's just what it is.
Right.
And that's my thing with everybody reacting this year so harshly. It's like you got to throw this year out.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate that it happened after a Super Bowl year, but you just have to throw this season out essentially. If you're really looking, as I said last week, just watch to see what the pieces are next year are going to be. That's really what you want to watch for.
Yep. Yeah. I think what is it? I tweeted out something from PFF. The 49ers right now have an 8% chance of making the playoffs.
That's 8%. Not 0.
Yeah, it's not 0. And so, you know, you're saying there's a chance .gif.
But like okay, like can I want to spin this a little bit.
Okay.
Is it the worst thing the 49ers finish in last place?
No.
Okay, yeah, I see. I agree, because as it stands right now, and I'm pulling up stuff, so they would get to play the Panthers, the Lions, and the Cowboys next year.
They get the last.
If the 49ers are fully healthy, that's 3 wins.
Yeah, you get the last place schedule with the last place schedule with the team that you had basically from the year before. You know, depending on who comes back and who the 49ers add, because there's gonna be a large, you know, exodus of players. Like it's gonna happen, like this team is gonna look significantly different next year. I think that's what this team has been preparing themselves for. They're not. It's not when teams don't bring guys back, it's not because they don't want to. It's just a numbers game, especially considering what we're dealing with. We don't even know what the salary cap number is yet. We don't know if it's 175. We don't know if it's 185. Right now, as it stands, if it's 185, the Saints are $100 million over the cap. 100. Think about that. So that's why they're loading up this year to try and win it, because nobody's thinking down the line at all, right? Like you're just thinking about this year, and then you try to figure it out the rest of them. So, let's see. One New Jersey fan to another, how 2020 would be if the Giants were in the playoffs and oh man, that's awful, because the Giants still have a chance to legitimately win the NFC East and still net a top 10 pick. I hate the NFC East. It's so annoying.
I kind of have a hot take.
Go.
I think the Giants are like kind of a good football team.
What? Keener, Melissa, my New Jersey people, do we have to convince Andrew that the Giants aren't good at football?
Listen, man, if you got Joe Judge ultimate football guy move, how did we miss this?
What's this?
I'm on the Giants ESPN page.
Dante Pettis has COVID.
How did I miss? And Caden Smith, other 49er legend.
Yeah.
Matt Pert, Dante Pettis, and Caden Smith tested positive for COVID. Oh wow, that's unfortunate. That see, dude.
The worst part is Dante just stayed in my house, and now he's over there or whatever. Like, oh my goodness, man, my house is in shambles at this point.
Wow, I can't believe I missed that. That's kind of crazy. Yeah, I don't know, man. Something about the Giants, and maybe it just has to do with Joe Judge getting in a fight, maybe with his defensive coordinator.
That didn't happen.
Yeah, I know it didn't. That's the funny thing is like that's been debunked. I mean, I don't know, man. I maybe I'm convincing myself the Giants are good because I in the context of they might be the best team in the NFC East. I do think like okay, I'll for sure stand on that. I think the Giants are the best team in the NFC East. Who's better? The Eagles aren't. Washington's not.
That is like the grossest thing I've ever heard. I swear that's the grossest thing I've ever heard.
And like, I guess their schedule's tough too on the way. I don't know, man. The NFC East. What's going to be funny is inevitably whoever wins the NFC West or NFC East is going to win their first playoff game. That's just how this works. That's just how they're going to be 6-10 in the playoffs. They're going to play. Who's the 5 seed right now? Is it the Packers? No, the Packers are in first place in the NFC North.
I think it's Arizona because they fell.
Looking at it right now, it is currently the Buccaneers. Wow. Yeah, of course the Giants are going to beat the Buccaneers in the first round because Tom Brady can't beat the Giants except for on Monday night.
I was going to say, so Eli's coming back.
Yeah, Eli's coming back.
Ugh. You see, but you don't know the pain that we've had, that us 49er fans on this side have had to endure with this Eli Manning crap. Like, it's just like, whatever. I'm sorry. I'm not even going to get into the rant.
You want a real deep cut with Giants right now is we talked about Kyle Williams. I don't even think about the muff punts. There's a play that I go back to that like very small.
The fumble.
The one that they ruled Ben Jacobs down. Progress, and then you watch the replay and he's still moving forward as the ball. Yeah, that's the play I get the most mad about.
Yeah, that was the one that would have won the game because you immediately
that would have been the game.
All right, now I'm sad. Hey, who said it was going to be all doom and gloom in this episode?
Hey, say something positive about the 49ers. Go.
Say something positive about the 49ers. Yes, I said Jordan Reed before. I do want to, I think that Jet McKinnon is unfairly getting bashed. And I think that this game, regardless of his yards per carry in this game, he ran really well. I really have a tough time with this run blocking, especially in this game. Laken Tomlinson, I'm looking at you. He got blown up a bunch of times, and Jet really, really played well, man. Like all jokes aside, tired legs, all that stuff, bad contract, all that stuff, right? All jokes aside, where would this team be offensively if Jet McKinnon wasn't even on the field? Seriously, and he's been great this year, and I hope that somebody gives him money, because he is a free agent next year, and he lands on his feet.
Hey, Jason, who leads the 49ers in touchdowns this year?
Jerick McKinnon.
Yep.
Yes,
I know he likes. Listen, his role at this point is a backup running back, and he's very good in that role. Unfortunately, he's had to carry a lot of the load, so that it's how it is. Jerick McKinnon's still very good. I think he's fine on this team. He's just not at a point in his career where he's an every down back. And that's kind of what he's had to be the past couple of weeks.
He's never been, though. Like, even in Minnesota, they never used him that way, right? But now you take away that sort of burst, right? Because they still want to run all those cutback runs. See, this is the part that, okay, maybe we should give – I hope that we should give maybe a little bit of leeway – not leeway, but criticism towards Kyle, is that he's running the same plays that he would be running with Raheem Mostert with Jet. And I think that that's the problem that you're getting because the run blocking, right? We could say the run blocking is bad, but statistically, they've been on par with last year. The difference between last year and this year is Raheem Mostert hits those holes faster, and we don't have a guy that's doing that. So I want you to keep that in mind, too, when it comes to the run game. This is the point. This is the problem with calling out play calls and calling out, oh, this is a dumb call. The nuance behind where you got to the down, who's there for you, what can you trust, what can you use, has Shanahan called perfect plays every time? No. Find me a play caller that has, and I'll call you a liar. So, it's all compounded with the losing, and it's all compounded with the frustration that this team has. So, I'm not bad on him like that.
And being frustrated about the losing. Listen, if this was a 100% healthy Niner team, like, yes, be mad at Shanahan, but come on, man, they're running like it's gotten to a point where people are asking, hey, when's Josh Johnson gonna play? Like, that's all you need to know. That's all you need to know about this season. I saw a question about Jordan Willis, and I would love to answer that. It's somewhere.
So is Jordan Willis going to get into the rotation, right?
He's kind of been, and I've been noticing that 78 more and more kind of in plays. I think he had half a sack on Sunday.
He did. He's just got to get rid of that number.
Oh, hey, go ahead. Sorry.
That number is like with no swag. 74 or whatever. 78. 78?
You keep saying 74 like Joe Staley.
No, because Joe Staley's on my mind because he was on Matt and Javi's show, bro.
Shout out Matt and Javi, by the way.
Shout out Matt and Javi. You guys really one-upped us this week.
G Muniz. I don't know G Muniz's name, so I referred to him. He tagged us. This 49er edits page, which give or take whether the legitimacy of it. 49ers are working out more players soon, including some familiar faces. Quarterback Anthony Gordon, defensive back Bo Tanner, defensive back Chris Edwards, wide receiver Gary Jennings, and wide receiver Sean Poindexter.
I know Gary Jennings. He was originally with Seattle, and then he went over to Miami. You know, he was really good in college, but he had a tough time sticking around. So he's a receiver. Anthony Gordon, I don't really know too much about. That's just pretty much kicking the tires on anybody that's out here at this point. And his name's Gennaro.
Thank you, Gennaro. My bad. I don't know, man. You guys just use your usernames, and I don't know your names, man. Tell me your names. I want to know you guys' names, man. I feel like we're a little like family at this point, right?
Well, I mean, it's crazy because we've been here almost an hour. We're not really talking about anything, and you guys have stuck with us the entire time.
Man, and that was kind of the point of the show, right? Like it's bye week. We have nothing to talk about. I know I have something I want to yell about in a minute, but
here we go. All right, let's go. No, that's it. 53 minutes. We've waited. Let's bang the table. Let's go crazy, Andrew. This is a laid back episode, but I need you to explain to me why you're upset, and I think I know why.
Okay, so I got a question, and I'm looking up a roster real quick just so I can kind of confirm to myself.
Get your popcorn, people. Let's go.
Okay, could you imagine if in 2008, after the Miami Dolphins beat the New England Patriots in an upset because of the Wildcat formation, if the Miami Dolphins head coach at the time, who was Tony Sparano, God, Tony Sparano, that's a name. Tony Sparano announced that, hey, you know what? Chad Pennington, you're no longer the starting quarterback of this NFL team. Ronnie Brown worked really well last week. He is our starting quarterback. That is what Sean Payton has done. That is what Sean Payton has done. Taysom Hill is a gadget player. The Saints are significantly worse with him as their quarterback than anybody else in this league. Like Nick Mullins on the Saints, he's better than Taysom Hill. JT O'Sullivan has a very successful YouTube page, and I trust him running the Saints offense more than I trust Taysom Hill. Taysom Hill is a gadget player. Taysom Hill is a gadget player. You run him 10 times to surprise the defense. It's not even a surprise anymore. It's not even a surprise anymore.
Right.
That's the thing. Taysom Hill is not an NFL quarterback. Okay. He is a gadget player, and he is a very good gadget player. I need to say that. He is a very good gadget player in this NFL.
Yeah. I mean, and look, what you hit the nail on the head, right? He's on the field. Like, you breathe real quick. I got you.
I'm good. I played it up a little bit, but I'm good.
You did, but you got it. I mean, you got it off your chest. Look, I agree, man. This guy is decent at a few things, good at nothing. And when he's on the field, I would take my defensive backs off the field pretty much at the point, because he's not going to throw the ball. And it's like, when you watch him throw the ball, it's not even like, oh, wow, why don't they make him throw the ball? They look at it and they say, that's why you don't let him throw the ball.
I need Niner Raccoon to know it has nothing to do with how I feel about Taysom Hill. And everything it has to do is how I feel about Jameis Winston. Heisman Trophy winning quarterback, national champion. What does Taysom Hill do? I don't even know where Taysom Hill went to college.
BYU.
Oh, BYU. Hey, I know a good quarterback out of BYU.
So does Nat. You see him right there in his edit, in his picture.
And where is he? Keener. Taysom Hill's my tight end this week in 3 weeks.
Yep.
So,
ESPN leagues.
I hope ESPN makes an announcement that Taysom Hill can't get quarterback points out of the tight end position. That's how angry I am about this.
Hey, look. Jarvis Landry threw a touchdown the other day, 2 weeks ago for me on one of my teams. It counts. It's all good. It's all good.
No, see, in fantasy baseball, if you have Shohei Ohtani, you have to pick if he's a pitcher or outfielder.
Wow, really?
You should have to pick if Taysom Hill's a quarterback, or if he's a tight end, or if he's a running back, or if he's a blocker, or whatever the hell he is.
Look,
Jameis Winston is better. That's all I need to say.
If you're mad that Taysom Hill is tight end eligible, don't be mad at Taysom Hill. Be mad at ESPN. Yeah, don't play ESPN fantasy anymore.
I understand, like, you and I have talked about it. This could be smokescreen from Sean Payton.
For sure.
This could be a smokescreen from Sean Payton. Sean Payton is the type of head coach that would do this type of stuff. Right. Excuse me. However, based off the information we have right now, which is Adam Schefter reporting that Taysom Hill is the starting quarterback for the Saints. And Anthony, I know we usually talk 49ers, but I've already said this is half a Jameis Winston podcast at this point. Based off the information Adam Schefter has given us of Taysom Hill is the starting quarterback on Sunday, and there is no offensive packages planned for Jameis Winston on Sunday. That's all I know, and that's all I need to know about the Saints. That's all I need to know. As off-brand Matt Patricia, I put the pencil in my ear, and nobody said anything. Jameis Winston is a better quarterback than Taysom Hill. Taysom Hill might be a better football player, and that's fine. But I would bet on the Falcons to win this game outright if Taysom Hill's the starting quarterback for the New Orleans Saints on Sunday. That's all I need to say. Jameis Winston is the best backup in the NFL, and you're not going with him on Sunday. That's insane.
The Saints have broken Andrew Pasquini. We have just seen it. They've broken him. This is it. Not this season, not the Super Bowl, not these injuries. This right here is the end of it. Oh my goodness, man!
Honestly, where's this game at? It's in New Orleans. They allow fans. If I was a Saints fan, garbage or a paper bag over my face like it was in the 80s. They don't deserve a Super Bowl. They don't deserve a playoff spot anymore after this. It's a travesty.
Woo, man!
Travesty.
I think that's where we're gonna end it today. Actually,
famous Taysom doesn't rhyme. Famous Jameis, that works.
Right. Even Crab Legs is better than that.
Taysom Hill. Get out.
Taysom Hill. He's so bad.
He's a good football player. He's just not an NFL quarterback. That's all it is.
Oh my God. Jack of all trades, master of none.
Any final questions? Anybody have final questions regarding
any other final questions? Yeah, that was great. I can't wait. I'm using that. I'm cutting that and I'm using that.
Yeah, so we can wrap this podcast that it's about the 49ers and
right.
Yelling about
so we should say so next week we'll go back to the normal shows, right? Wednesday we're gonna have a guest. We'll tease it a little bit closer up to time. But we'll have somebody on Wednesday with us, and then Friday we'll try to figure out whether we're just gonna be what we're gonna talk about Wednesday, because one of those shows should be probably like a mid-season, maybe award show, maybe where we talk about so we'll figure out which of those is which.
Planning in person, maybe Friday. Just because I mean we've already seen the Rams. We kind of know a breakdown of them. We don't have to dive too deep. So watch out Friday. We'll probably do maybe we'll pop some polls up on Twitter too. Have it be a van vote for awards, and we'll come up with some fun award categories. How about that?
Yep, for sure.
Categories.
Thank you guys for joining as usual, man. We appreciate you. You know, all the interaction on Twitter, in the comments. It means a lot to us. You know, don't ever think that we don't notice. So, you know, we appreciate each and every one of you that enjoy the content. So,
should we? I'm gonna do a tease real quick. Are we ready?
Do it.
Are we ready? I got a picture. It's gonna be. You got 2 seconds. 2 seconds. You ready? Ready? It's gone. That's all they need to know.
Somebody's gonna screen cap that and take a look at that. But yeah, I told you. Well,
I left it a little blurry on purpose. We
told you guys something's happening. Stuff is happening. So
we're cooking a bit. Yeah. And actually, I do want to shut something down. Somebody mentioned the last tease when we teased it on Wednesday was a Patreon. That is not it.
Right? No,
it's not a Patreon. We are not. No. We are not planning to charge you guys for our content.
No, it's not a Patreon. It's an OnlyFans.
Yes, exactly. That's content. No, yeah. So I do want to shut that down. That no, like if you're worried about a Patreon sort of thing where you have to pay to see us, that's not the case. I do want to shut that down.
Appreciate you, John.
Hey, and I saw a Happy Turkey Day, Melissa. Hopefully we see you Wednesday. We'll say Happy Thanksgiving there too. I hope you guys have a good Thanksgiving and enjoy your football too. Falcons play the Saints tough. Yes. But the thing is, you know, the Saints quarterback isn't great. Anyways, shoot us a follow on Twitter, at Pasquini Andrew here, at Jason Aponte 2103 there. Any final thoughts? Any final things before we sign off for the week?
Nope. Enjoy the football this week, you know, stress-free. You know, we enjoy the bye week just like the players are and just like everybody else is. And, you know, as always, go 49ers.
Go 49ers.